definitely knew it was worth waiting for a second generation LD100 cylinder. This is the same head and top end that they've always offered for the LD100. But what's important about this new upgraded cylinder is that the intake port isn't quite as thin on the top as the Generation 1. It looks like it's going to seal a little bit better because the old one had like the really sharp corners at the top, just like they are on the bottom. But it looks like somebody went through and decided to make it a little better sealing. And the exhaust is still large, but it's not quite as bad as some that I've seen. We've got something to kind of help out with that. What's really important about the LD100 is it's got the modern porting. It's a little better than the stock YD. And the exhaust, obviously, is quite a bit larger. What's really interesting about the new LD is that the piston rings are actually just a little bit smaller than the YD piston rings. Here we have the YD100 piston ring. It's quite a bit thicker. I don't know if that really shows up on camera as well. And to try to help a little bit with the exhaust leaking, they actually make a gasket that has aluminum on both sides, so it's actually sandwiched. There's aluminum on both sides, pressed together. I've seen happen with the stock gasket is the exhaust pressure is so high that it literally melts whatever this gasket's made of. And the aluminum here should hopefully help stop that from happening. The cylinder is actually really super clean. I've had a few pitted cylinders recently. The casting quality's gone down, but this one looks decent. Definitely don't like small displacement, high RPM engines around here. So, people always ask me, how can you make so much more power with the same displacement? Well, let's compare this 049 post-production. Let's compare. So this engine and this engine are exactly the same displacement, but this silver engine makes way more power because of the porting. So inside this engine it's kind of hard because it's so small. It has a single port on each side that doesn't open up very much. There's a single transfer on both sides, kind of like the YD100. This engine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transfer ports, and the exhaust port is massive. And that's why this engine makes more power with the same displacement. Also, this engine is case reeded. This engine has a case reed induction with a reed valve. This engine has a rotary valve, so it's a little bit more efficient than the reed valve.